There's power in a drum beat on a hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter. But it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're North Boise. And it's big, go forever. Old Town scenery. Valley and mountain, chaparral to the sea. And the colors of our rainbow, sunset, orange, Tory, green. There's power when we're North Boise. SC loyal forever. Someday North County. Desert to islands, get loud now, you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team. There is power when we're North Boise.
Welcome to the Loyal Locals podcast. I am your host this week, Andrew Dyer. I'm joined by the Director of Finance for the Locals, Andres Chavarro, and OG 2020 original Locals member, Dylan Wilson. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Not much. Going good.
So we got a few things to get into this week. We're going to try to race through them. Make sure everybody listening is well informed of what's coming up. And but before we get to that, we're going to talk about the weekend that was. A lot of great soccer in San Diego and outside of San Diego this weekend. A little later, we're going to get into a Locals on tour coming up out of state, a big summer trip that I think will be a lot of fun for those who can make it. But first, what is your reaction to Saturday's match?
Well, I would love anyone to update me on things. I've honestly been off the grid. I have not been able to watch any of the last two games. And all I can read and hear and all of that is that we did it again. And I'm not too happy about it.
Something keeps happening. Dylan, what keeps happening?
I mean, it's tough to say. Because every game it's a different reason. It almost feels like you have to wonder if it's a mentality thing. But I think that like I said, in each game, and this one included, you can point to specific things that happened or specific changes that were made that maybe didn't pan out. I think that honestly, though, I think we just got tired at altitude in the heat, and we looked pretty gassed there at the end.
Did we end up playing with 10 players? Is that what I read?
Yeah.
There was a red card for Colin Martin.
Which the second yellow was absolutely a yellow card, no doubt about that. But the first one was weak, man. I mean, it was a foul, but he had just come on the pitch, and I don't think that's a yellow card, even if he'd had a couple other fouls. So that's pretty harsh. It's too bad Colin couldn't not get a second, but the first one was BS in my opinion.
That's terrible. But how many games have we done this like that? We either lose or tie at the last minute. That's just. And I read a lot about parking the bus and everything. I have no authority to say that they did or not because I did not watch the game. But
yeah, honestly, the first half, New Mexico set up really well and they kind of pinned us back, but we did a good job kind of absorbing the pressure and breaking forward after about the first 20 minutes of really like being under the cosh. But the second half, like I said, man, we just looked so tired. Guido especially, he just looked like he was running in molasses. So any game planning, I think, kind of went out the window in that second half there.
Yeah, it's soccer's hard, man. We'll get into it more. We're going to have an after show, the lounge after the main pod, and we're going to get into many more theories about why that back line is just so gassed in the last minute. Who knows? But we did have some members make the trip to New Mexico. It's great to see folks. It's not a short trip.
yeah, I think. Did I see? I think Gabe was there. Martin was there. I think I saw Weston there as well.
Definitely.
And I don't know his name, but I know you know him, Andrew, the guy with the bike. I think he made the trip all the way on the bike, didn't he?
What?
On the motorcycle. What is his name?
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Oh, Tai was there. That's right. You were there.
Oh, he flew. Game day.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Good for you guys. That seemed to be a very cool stadium. There you go, Lance. Lance was there on
Yeah.
your bike.
Yeah, New Mexico's got a great supporter culture. I've seen a lot of their stuff on socials. Last year, I didn't get to go to the game last year, but I did. I think I was with Jerry at the store, and one of their supporters just happened to be at the Shake Shack next door, and we went and hung out with him for a few minutes, and you're super nice, and a bunch of them made that trip. So yeah, it's nice to be able to go out and to a place where the other supporters are friendly and welcoming, and that's always a lot of fun for the culture. Um, another thing happened last week was our very own Nick Moon had the USL goal of the week. Now, I don't know how many times I've watched this highlight because it's just like a work of art. The his little, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a step over and a juke.
It was a double step over, I think. He's
Oh, yeah.
faked him one way, the other, and then back towards the middle.
Yeah, and that ball just curved right into the net. Well deserved goal of the week for Nick Moon. Also wanted to shout out the host in the pod from last week, Drew Steck, Tony Sanchez, and Taylor Wombledall did a great job on the show. Probably better than me, I guess, but well, we do try to mix things up with members of the supporter group, and get everybody in here to have a chance to talk about things, and it's kind of a lot of fun. Also, last weekend, also on Saturday, Alex Morgan of the San Diego Wave, 4 goals. What do you call that in soccer?
A poker, isn't it?
I don't know. I'd never heard that. I didn't know there was a word for it, honestly.
I think. Please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how you call it. Was it a good game? Like, did you guys watch it? Did you guys go to the stadium?
I was not there. I don't know. Andrew, were you there in the house for that?
I was at O'Brien's.
Okay.
Okay.
I watched the whole game though, and I thought it was a great game. I thought I can't recall really at any point Gotham looked like scoring a goal. Really, they were super dominant, especially in the second half. And once they scored that first goal, they kind of like you could feel them ratchet up through the gears, and it was like there was no way Gotham was coming back in. And Alex Morgan, obviously, she's one of the best in the world, and she showed it.
How's Torero? How did it look from the TV?
It looked like it wasn't as full as it's been for previous Wave games, but it was still obviously almost completely sold out, if not sold out.
Yeah, and shout out to the Wave. I know that they hooked it up with some tickets for a bunch of locals who were able to make it and sit in 109. I haven't been able to get out there yet, but it's definitely. I think as the season progresses, they can maintain winning form. It'll become a hotter ticket, I would imagine. Speaking of teams, local soccer teams in great form, the San Diego Sockers won their 16th MASL championship on Sunday. I was at that game, and gotta shout out those guys. What you got, Chapy?
The soccer scarf right there. That's so cool. I have to say that I've never been to a soccer game until this year, and it was very fun to go. If you were able to go to the arena this last weekend, probably was amazing. But it's to me as a local member and part of this community has been so cool to see members of our team that are involved with the club be part of all of this, like seeing Jerry there celebrating with all the confetti and all that stuff. And seeing oh gosh, I'm blanking right now. What's his name? Please help me. Craig, sorry. Seeing Craig with wearing the ring and like holding the cup with, I think he was with his kid or whatever. It's like, it's so cool. It's part of our community, and I love to see those moments, and I can't wait for when we can do the same with our love San Diego.
Yeah, it was a little bit disorienting watching a San Diego team get it done. I hadn't been in the presence of that ever, and seeing the sparkling, confetti shooting out, and the team, hoisting the trophy, it was so alien to me. And I mean, they've done it 15 times before, but this is the first one that I was there for. It was a great game. We sat and shout out to Craig, because he did. The Soccers were great at getting a bunch of locals and chavos out there, and of course the Brujos, their supporters group. Adrian, yes, they did awesome drumming and chanting throughout the game, giving their goalie the necessary sync, because in that in the arena, it's not a large arena, and they were literally like right behind the goalie's little box there, and they can hear you. And
I think
it came down and to some last second saves on the part of the Soccers to finish it up, and it was a 1-goal win. And were you there, Dylan?
No, I wasn't able to. Actually, it was my dad's birthday and also Mother's Day, so there was just no way I was getting out of that one. I was gonna say though, I think being right up behind the goal, it kind of fills that like the desire for the soccer specific kind of stadium, where you're right on top of it, and the players can hear you because you're like 5 feet from them. I think that's like a really fun aspect of it. We don't quite get at Torero. That was all I was gonna say. But yeah, shout out to Boris Pardo. Drew's in the chat. I mean, he's the man. Like, he's obviously the best. I was able to watch the game, but no, I couldn't be there.
Yeah. One thing, I never get over, and I've been to, this was my third Soccers match. I've been to 2 this season and 1 a couple years ago. But one thing that it just strikes me watching the arena soccer is just how fast and intense those one-on-ones are. And I mean, it's not on the big field soccer, but it is just as intense, and maybe even at some points more technical than the big game.
Yeah, and it's a sport that is growing. I don't know how true this fact that I'm about to say is, but I read that Ronaldinho Gaucho is owner of a new MASL club or something like that. So
yeah, he announced it on Twitter last week that he was getting into MASL. I don't have any specifics on that other than what he said on social media. I don't even think we know which team or which city it is.
No,
but
I don't think they've said what city or anything like that.
That's a big deal. I mean, he
absolutely
Go watch Ronaldinho's videos when he was little playing indoor soccer. They're unbelievable, and he was probably like 10 years old.
So for you season ticket members at the Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Center on June 5th, the team is holding a meet and greet. That's on a Saturday. If you're a season ticket member, you can head out there and meet the team. There's emails in your inbox. I have not opened or read mine yet, so please let me know if there are additional details that I'm missing here.
Yeah, you got RSVP to it.
They always want to know if you're going to go. I don't know where I'm going until like the day of.
This is one you don't want to miss, though.
Where are they for the procrastinators?
They figured they'd deal with it tomorrow.
So, in other locals specific news, locals on tour trip to Colorado Springs. This is a game will be on Monday, July 4th.
Wow, that just I want to do that.
Yeah.
Have you been to Colorado Springs before?
I've never been to Colorado. People talk great things about it. I do want to go on July 4th. Seems like a very
Yeah.
good time to go.
I went to Colorado Springs a few times actually when I was in college. One of my roommates had a cousin out there that we would go and visit. Colorado Springs is like a very much growing city. It's super spread out, but there's a lot of great beer. The downtown is pretty nice, and there's like a really good biking culture there. And they just opened Widener Field, their stadium, I think last year. So that'll be a pretty cool trip if you can make it out. That was one I circled on my calendar too, but I just couldn't make it work, unfortunately.
Now, people talk about Denver being mile high. Colorado Springs is even higher. I want to say it's 7,000 feet or so. It's up there. I went there probably about 10 years ago, and they have an old like railroad up the side of a mountain, and they took the tracks out, but they left all the wooden supports.
The incline, yeah.
The incline, right? It's like a stair.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a straight staircase up the side of a mountain, and I actually hiked it. I am embarrassed to say I probably could not do that today, but at that point I could, and wow, it was brutal. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do in Colorado for that weekend to make a trip of it. It sounds like a great away trip.
Colorado Springs 6,000 feet, and just for some stats on the incline, it's 0.8 miles long, but goes up over 2,000 feet in elevation, 68% grade. So
yeah, you feel every one of those feet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they're like locals, like old guys, like running past me, and I'm like dying. So
there's a club of people
very
who have done
humbling
it 500 times in 1 year, so that's more than once in a day, which is just like, it's absurd. Anyway, that's a fun thing if you're ever in Colorado Springs.
Hey, I here in the notes that we have, there's some hotel details that I don't really want to say anything about it, but I wonder, and this is for our man Jason. Is this like the same deal that you'll stay at the same hotel as the players stay? Because if that is the deal, that was such a good time in Phoenix. So if that is the case, even better. This is getting
so better. Yeah, I think they're trying to put something together. I think it's kind of difficult without knowing how many people want to go. So if you want to do this Colorado Springs trip, get on the locals Discord. If you're not in the Discord, the link should be in your membership email, or you can reach out to any of the locals leadership, and they will hook you up with a Discord link. I know there's a Facebook group, but the Discord is really the most engaged and the place where you're going to get the newest and most timely info. But yeah, the Embassy Suites Hotel. Trying to get something together. That's all going to be arranged through Jason, who's been doing a bang-up job on all of these away trip organizations. So after the game, there will be fireworks, so that might be worth the trip also. It is the 4th, after all. So any live chat questions? Do we have any questions in the chat?
I think Tay and Jerry were talking about like the barbecue on the 5th. I think that's what they were talking about, but I'm not sure there.
Oh, for the locals at the training center?
Oh, the training center, yeah. Like I think that's what they were talking about, but they
only but the most prepared hosts on your loyal locals podcast to inform the listeners. The information that I offered was to check your email, so I am totally telling on myself here, but
oh, okay, yeah, just go ahead and RSVP to that, so you don't miss on your hot dog. I'm very curious about what a barbecue with the players will mean, but
so back home we do have a game this Saturday. That's at Torero, our first and only home match of the month of May, and it is against this very Colorado Springs Switchbacks. So, Dylan, do you know anything about the Colorado Springs Switchbacks?
Yeah, I've watched a couple of their games this year. I'd say for my money, they're the best team in the West. They score a bunch of goals, they don't concede goals, and they look really good doing it too. So this will be a litmus test game for Loyal. Absolutely.
Hey, do you know the guy used to play for the Loyal Beverly? Does he
Beverly
actually?
Macangila. Yeah, he
Does,
doesn't
does
start for them, but he does play a good amount, and he's an important piece for them too.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm very interested to see this team live because I mean I have to be honest, I don't have time to watch any of the other clubs. Um, but they seem to be having a terrific season, so I want to see
Yeah.
what they have and see what the Loyal can do against them.
You know, the last time we had a good USL team at home, it did not turn out so well for us. I'm sorry, Chappy, to bring this up, but you know we were saving our legs for a game against LA Galaxy's MLS side, and we just kind of
What's that?
we haven't seen the performance at home against an elite USL side in quite a while. I think the game against Rowdies was encouraging. They have their own struggles. This game this week or last week on Saturday, not encouraging, coming away with a draw, leaving points that should have been ours. So, yeah, this game Saturday, we got to have it. We've got a statement to make. Everybody's bringing their best against Loyal. If you look at some of the other USL fans, the way they talk about Loyal, we're kind of the bells of the ball. You know, they want to knock us down a peg, and it shows on the field. So, but hey, that's what happens if you're, you get that kind of attention. You're coached by Landon Donovan. You're going to get everybody's best week to week.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's
I'm okay with
good
it. Bring
way
it
to
on.
test ourselves.
I think wasn't Louisville our last home game?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that feel like a long time ago, you guys?
I mean, it kind of was. That was like 3+ weeks ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, so that was the last time we that devastating. I can't even count that high. How many goals they scored?
I think it was 5-2 the final score.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe this is the eternal optimist in me, but I almost just kind of write that game off because we rotated so heavily, and I mean, that has to have been like the single most mistake-ridden game we've played as a club. Like, just like crucial error after crucial error, and I get that those things happen, but I just feel like that's one of those games where it's like, okay, we move on, dust yourself off. It's just kind of like it's not indicative of the team as a whole, in my opinion.
Yeah. So that game will be on ESPN Plus if you can't make it out there. Pre-game, no parking lot once again. Locals will be at Coronado Brewing. That is a few short blocks from USD. 4:00, that'll start. Otherwise, meet at the Fountain at 6:35 for the March to 109. As always, voting for the man of the match happens on Discord in the 70th minute. Please log in, vote on the man of the match, have your voice heard on who we honor with the growler at the end of the game. Post-match, if you haven't had enough yet, you can head on up to O'Brien's, have a few with some of your fellow locals, and hopefully we will spend that time talking about what a great win we just witnessed instead of, again, lamenting a last-second draw. So, once again, that's this Saturday, the match. Colorado Switchbacks, toughest test of the season so far. get ready, get ready. It's coming. They're coming.
Are we half season in yet or not yet? Not yet.
No, I think
Just-
it's what, a 34 game schedule, and we played 10, so we're like just under a third.
Okay. I just feels that it was a lot of home games at the beginning, I guess.
Hmm.
It
We've
feels
got a
like
long
lot.
stretch of away games too now, so
Mhm. I think this is the only one in like another 3 weeks or something like that. So
yeah, actually, funnily enough, our next home game after Colorado Springs, I think it's June 11th, is against Hartford, who just signed one Corey Herzog.
mhm.
So that'll be fun, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think that'll be a. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be a warm welcome
Yeah,
back for him. I think people really like Corey.
I think so. I agree.
I feel that there's something that I don't know about this Corey
Mhm.
Herzog situation, but I liked him a lot while he was at the club. So I don't know. That's what I have.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
fun.
He,
He was always down to drink beer. I don't know. And I don't know. I always thought that was a little bit weird, I guess. He's he's supposed to be I don't know, but I liked it. I like him, and he scored goals. He was fun. He's cool, very friendly. So yeah, I'll definitely welcome him. I think there's no player that I have not welcomed back. I can't think of anybody that I will not welcome back. At least not yet.
All right. Any other questions in the chat? If not, we are going to wrap things up and be back in the lounge immediately following the show.
I think we're good, guys.